Here we go. See if he joins us.
Very
Woo.
excited.
Oh,
Hey,
hi.
morning, everyone.
How you doing? Yes, it is morning for you. It's like,
It is.
well, I'm still drinking coffee, but it's afternoon for us
I
here.
just had one.
Did
I'm
you?
using my friend's account. This is not Doug Pasco. So
Well, I was worried for a second when I saw Doug Pasco wanted to join. I was like, well, that's not who I'm expecting, but I guess the more the merrier.
Sure.
If Chad invited some more people to the party, that's fine.
we're different ringers for each other. How was my audio, video, everything else up to your technical standards?
Yes, everything is great. And if,
Okay, cool.
yeah, and you should know that our technical standards are very low. So things don't usually work here. If you freeze up at some point, it's like the curse of the kind of nerdy girls. It's not you.
Mm-hmm. I find keeping standards low always to be a great personal policy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, since we started, we didn't really know what we were doing. We've been doing this show together for like 3 years now. We still don't really know what we're doing. People just expect us to not know what we're doing. If we had it together, they'd quit listening.
That's the charm, honestly. Like when I Twitch stream, it's an absolute disaster. I love it.
I haven't gotten into Twitch yet. So can people follow along with you on Twitch? Are you there a lot?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
How do we find you on Twitch, and what are you playing?
It's just twitch.tv because they're weird / Chad Michael Collins. And I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty.
What is Twitch?
Twitch is like a web streaming video game playing platform.
It's a streaming platform. A lot of like gamers and stuff will play their games and stream it for people to watch and follow and stuff like that. So before you start, let me say hi. Hi, Katie. You're in my Brady Bunch bottom corner. And Jonah? Jonna.
Yes.
I'm glad I asked. Yeah, nice to meet you both.
So Katie is, just to give you an idea, Chad, Katie is our gamer on the show. We joke a lot because she often misses episodes because she is gaming and doesn't want to stop. So we appreciate that you're here today, Katie.
Glad to be here.
And she also works in TV, and her shift is like 4 to noon. So she's giving up her nap time to be here with us. Yes.
All right. Thank you for your sacrifice.
I know. Finally, I'm getting some recognition.
And then producer Jonna, as you could tell, is not into gaming at all.
That's not true.
Well,
she's not into Twitch.
She's not into Twitch.
I don't play a lot of games. I have a very addictive personality because once I start playing a game, I'll never stop.
This is not a bad policy. Not a bad policy.
She is a bit addicted to the Hallmark Channel. So she owns a Christmas card. We found out.
Got it. That movie is still making the rounds. It's
Walmart for $5.
Yeah.
Great. I love
bargain bin, baby.
Yeah.
Most of my movies end up. It's great.
That's where all the Hallmark movies go, though, honestly.
Yeah.
They actually all go to Jonna's house. Honestly, Chad, as much as I know how much Jonna loves the Hallmark Channel, I was even shocked when she was like, he was in a Christmas card. Yes.
I watched it.
But we know you best from the sniper movies, and this has been a big chunk of your life now. Is it going on close to a decade that you've been a part of the franchise?
Yeah, it's we've got our newest one coming out in a month, and that'll be the 5th one that I've been a part of, 8 overall. And the first one I did was Sniper Reloaded, and that was 2010. So we've been going a decade strong on this franchise, and we're hot on the heels of Fast and Furious. We're trying to overtake them.
Well, that's what I was going to.
There's a number of sequels.
I was going to ask, because with the new title being Assassin's End, did they tell you, okay, we're wrapping it up here, or should we not read too much into that?
That's funny. I'd never thought about it when they dropped that title, but I've had a lot of people commenting and posting about, like, is this the last one? And I was like, oh wow, I didn't think about that potential mixed message. But as far as I know, they're going to keep it going. You know, I'm always the last to know, you know, and anybody who's an actor will probably tell you that it's kind of always the case for them. They give you a call and you show up for work, and that's it. You're not really privy to anything else. You got another one in the works. When is this one coming out? It's kind of like, surprise, here's information when we, you know, deem it fit to give it to you. So I hope they keep going. I think we made a really, really good one. We kind of reinvigorated the franchise a little bit with this one. Really heavy on the action, and a new director in the chair, a guy named Kari Andrews, who comes from, he's a great television and film director, but he's also a really well-known comic book artist. Iron Fist, Spider-Man, stuff like that. I see your Black Widow and Captain America back there. So
the nerd explosion behind me.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I've got them all on my shelf right here. I'm staring at Daredevil and like G.I. Joe figures and Conan the Barbarian. So
oh, nice.
I represent two. It's just not camera forward.
I love it. We'll have to get into that a little bit more. You said Daredevil. I'm interested to know a little bit more about your fandoms. But I did want to kind of let Katie jump in here, because clearly she doesn't get to talk with other gamers that are on the level that she is. And I know not only have you done a lot of voice work, but you are a gamer. Katie, when we were talking about having you on, had all kinds of interesting questions about the voice work and stuff like that I hadn't even thought about. So Katie, take it away.
Katie.
Yeah. First question, as always, what are you playing right now?
I am playing a lot of Call of Duty Modern Warfare multiplayer for the first time. Mm-hmm. It's awesome. It's fun. Not very good compared to so many players out there who put in 6 to 10 hours a day. I'm finding to get as good as they are. But you know, I'm been a Warcraft guy since like 2005, 2006. I love that. I love to dip into, you know, the retro games. You know, I've got the Nintendo Mini, I've got the Super Nintendo Mini, so I'll bust out, you know, Secret of Mana, or, you know, some old RPG from that world that I grew up on. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past is one of my all-time favorites.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so I dip all over the place. You know, I actually recently, just to kick off this year in January, I read all 8 books in the Witcher series.
Witcher's fantastic.
Yeah.
KJ hates it. Doesn't care at all.
Yeah.
I haven't read
Throw her
the
under
books.
the bus.
I haven't read the books. I didn't
watch the show.
The books are always excellent, right?
Right.
Yes.
I did hear that the video games are incredible as well. So I went on, I think it was Steam, and I downloaded all 3 of the video games. So I hope you do those at some point this year too. So
3 is fantastic. The DLC for it is amazing. It's got vampires and everything. It's really cool. You'll love it.
Yeah.
I know Jonna and KJ don't care, but The Witcher is such a good series, and it's open world, and it's so good, and it's fantastic if you love RPG games and all that. What I was curious about was kind of the process, because we know you're the voice for the main character of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the player character, Alex. What was that like for you? Because I know sometimes voice actors kind of just get a script and they don't really know what it's for. Other times it's a little more kind of in the know. What was your experience?
Yeah, so the role of Alex in Call of Duty, it's obviously my voice, but it's also full face capture, motion capture, performance capture. We had the suits on, so every way that Alex looks, walks, and talks is totally me. So that's you know, they got all this face. I don't know that makes it better, but they got it, and that's Alex. So we that was the process, and you're absolutely right with a game, especially with a game like Call of Duty, where there's so much money behind it. There's such big expectations. Like you better believe that we had no idea what we were auditioning for in the beginning. You know, everything is very top secret, NDA protected, leaks and spoilers. You know, just like KJ's backdrop, you know, the Avengers movies. It's like, if you ever get a chance to audition for something like that, you're not, unless you put the context clues together, you know, they're not going to give you anything. You know, all the sides, the audition material will be very dummied. They're not going to give you anything from that script as well. And you're signing a million NDAs. So yeah, the audition process was just like that. I I didn't really know it was Call of Duty, but when you're playing a video game with such a heavy military event, you can kind of almost, put two
Better
and two
Battlefield.
together. Yeah, exactly. So that was it. It was a proper audition with our director, Taylor Kurosaki, and writer Brian Bloom, who's also a really renowned actor and voice actor as well. He wrote this. So I auditioned with those two on a big mocap stage, and we played for like 20, 30 minutes. And I mean, I don't know how many hundreds of guys they read for this, but luckily it fell my way, and here's Alex.
So since you play games, was it kind of like a dream come true to be part of one?
Oh yeah. And I figured it was appropriate given the name of your podcast.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
G.I. Joe guy. And obviously between the sniper movies and now doing Call of Duty, like it's just like the pretend soldier thing is my favorite. It's absolutely my favorite. So to be a part of Call of Duty, it's so nice. It's an extension of kind of what I do in the Sony sniper movies, but it's kind of more awesome. I'll share this with you. When we first all sat down, when the cast was assembled after the audition process, we sat down with the director and we just kind of talked it through. And they pulled back the curtain and they're like, this is Call of Duty and we're rebooting Modern Warfare. And we all just looked at each other like, because, Call of Duty in the video game world is kind of like Star Wars in the movie world. Like it's really ubiquitous. It's so global that if you don't play it directly, you know about it, or somebody who's hardcore into it. They've got 17 titles under their umbrella in this franchise. So there's something really cool about doing TV and film, obviously, but there's something extra cool with our generation when you get to star in a video game. That's like legacy in a whole different way. So we were like kids in a candy store for some reason, because it was a new experience. And, just there's something about video games, when you come up through the 80s and 90s that just have a mystique about them and an allure about them, that it was almost cooler than any TV and film job that we'd ever done for that reason.
How long did it take you from audition to game being published?
Oh man, it must have been like 2 years ago. I remember auditioning probably like 2018. It was like May or June. We were on set and rolling cameras and doing all the crazy face scans they've got to do, probably around July, August. And then that 2018, that fall, all the way up into summer of last year, we were still filming, the cinematic cutscenes and the intros of the game where you morph into the player, and then the outros where you come back out and watch the cinematics unfolding. We filmed all that stuff over the course of probably a solid year. And obviously it was, I don't want to reveal too many spoilers, but at this point, if you don't know, you don't know. But Alex, in the single player campaign, kind of had a dubious ending. You weren't sure if he made it out alive. He kind of went off and sacrificed himself for the good of the team and the mission. So that was the big kind of cliffhanger at the end of the single player part of the game. Obviously, if people play the campaign, they go right into playing multiplayer for the whole rest of the year.
Yep.
So season 3 of Modern Duty multiplayer, it was revealed that Alex is alive. He has a prosthetic leg now because of the explosion he was involved in. So that's been it was like a really nice fan moment to reveal that Alex was not only alive, but now you get to run around as him in multiplayer, which has been really, really, the fans and gamers have been really excited about that. It's been really, really fun to interact with them about that sort of stuff.
Was there an amount of time where you were wondering if Alex was really alive?
I mean, I feel like, again, it goes back to that need to know basis thing. So like they kind of teased that they have plans for Alex, but until you get that call and until you're on the set filming the thing and you actually get to see the material that you're going to film, it doesn't ever feel real until then. So they hinted, they teased, but at the same time, 4 or 5 months went by from, when the game dropped to when they called me back in to film the stuff for the multiplayer cutscenes and everything else too. So it was a really, really great surprise, and I was super flattered. And, you can't necessarily come back if you're dead. So just the fact that you're alive always allows for the possibilities of sequels and stuff like that. So I hope Alex gets to keep bopping around the Call of Duty universe.
Have you played as yourself in multiplayer?
I have. I mean, I got it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. Alex deserves better than me playing as him. in multiplayer. There's just dead Alexes everywhere when I play. It's kind of morbid. I think my mom would get a little freaked out seeing just dead me's like just littering the battlefield. But it's really charming. I try once a week to just go on Twitch and stream, and anybody who's following me on Twitch or social media who are gamers and who love Call of Duty, I try and take a few hours each week and just squad up with the players. And so we form kind of like a squad, and we go into these battle zones, and they're really sweet. They all pick Alex as their like, skin. So there's like a little army of 6 Alexes running around the battlefield. It's really flattering. It's very endearing. They're always trying to protect me and save me from getting killed. And I'm like, trust me, I'm a meat shield at best. Save yourself. Honestly, you need me to go in there first. Like, let me just take all the bullets so you can clean up the mess after I go down. It's kind of that's my tactic. Run in there with a shotgun and let the professionals clean it up behind me.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Katie, I don't want to cut away from any of the gaming stuff, but I want to go back to Daredevil. Like you said, Daredevil, and nobody ever wants to talk about Daredevil. What are your thoughts in the Marvel universe and where things are heading now? And there's been some discussion about, do they cross over some of the characters from the Netflix series? Like,
right.
You want to see Daredevil on the big screen, or is it a recast type thing?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts with being such a big fan of Daredevil?
I'll start with this. I'll start a little show and tell just to prove to your audience that I'm not just talking the talk. This is a old school, what is this, 84, 83 Frank Miller Daredevil, or maybe that's back in the 70s.
Oh my gosh.
This is just one of many Marvel tchotchkes that I have hanging out all around my apartment. So I love Daredevil, and I grew up on Daredevil. And it's funny because I grew up on Marvel Comics. We were not a family that had a ton of money, right? So I was always scraping quarters together because in the 80s, comic books used to be 75 cents, unless you got a really popular one. Wolverine, Punisher, War Journal, those were like $1.50. So I was always doubling down on the titles that weren't as popular because they're cheaper and I get 2 for 1. And it always included Iron Man, Captain America. Like, the Avengers were not really cool. Like, Captain America was not cool in the 80s. All credit to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Chris Evans and all those brilliant actors who kind of brought them to the fore.
Yes.
But I have stacks of Iron Man. I have stacks of what was considered B characters, Thor, Avengers, West Coast Avengers. I had all of them back in the day, and I would always kind of go for the bargain version of things. And double down on my comic book pleasure. Although I am a hardcore Punisher fan at the end of the day. Sometimes I'd splurge for that $1.50 Punisher War Journal issue.
Oh yeah.
What can I say? But to answer your question, I love the Netflix Marvel shows. I really like Daredevil. Knocked it out of the park. What a great flagship show. Jessica Jones was excellent. I watched Luke Cage and Iron Fist, and I wasn't as enamored with them, even though I love those characters in the comics. But I thought the Punisher series was phenomenal. I thought that's just the first time they kind of got it right. They've tried so many times with movies and everything else. And I just thought John Bernthal crushed it for like a modern day Punisher. And I loved every minute of it. And it was really sad to see them all get canned, but it's probably never say never. Now everything's moving over to Disney Plus and stuff. So we could see a return, I hope. But I love the actor who played Daredevil. I would love to see him get a shot to join the team on the big screen. I think he deserves it. I think he's really, really good.
Yeah, same thing. With Daredevil, I was like, boy, they know that they have to get this right. Like, this is so important that they're going to plan out everything else that they want to do to get it right. And I just thought, Charlie Cox was fantastic, and I personally would love to see him continue as Daredevil. Yeah. Whether Disney Plus goes, here's some more of those characters, or they say, let's, bring them into the next phase of the MCU. So if you could play a character, if you could, obviously you're getting to sort of live some of your dream with Call of Duty and things like that. If you could play some sort of character from the Marvel universe, who would you like to be?
It's funny. I've always had an affinity for those B characters, and I read so much of those because of their price point being lower. But and it's kind of too late now, but I always joke that like Moon Knight would be my favorite character to play because he's just obscure enough that not a ton of people know.
Yep.
I mean, if you're gonna do a movie and you're gonna be Captain America, like you got to go after a big star. Like that's just too big, right? But if you have a B character like Moon Knight, it's like okay, now you kind of open the door to like what actor can come in and surprise you with that sort of stuff. Moon Knight is kind of like a weird inverse of like Batman from the DC universe, you know, in the Marvel universe. So I always joke that I would love to take a crack at Moon Knight because I was such a big fan. But then of course they wheeled out a slate of TV shows and Moon Knight is there, and I'm like, well, yeah, I didn't get that call. So I got to be honest, I love, you know, you go into the X-Men universe. I love characters like Havoc. I love kind of you know, those peripheral characters. It's just I just feel like there's so much more pressure when you do a mainstream character, you know, to get it right.
Yes.
And I just feel like, you know, I was really lucky with Alex in Call of Duty, as opposed to, you know, our friend actor Barry Sloan. He had to originate. He had to play Captain Price, and Captain Price is famous on the first 3 Modern Warfares. He's like the most popular character from that stuff. So he had to come in and pay homage to the old, but he also had to make it his own. That's hard to do as an actor. I got lucky with Alex, like clean slate. You get to start from scratch, kind of do this how you guys decide to do it from day one. So, so I really like the idea of those B characters in the Marvel and DC universes, just because there's no pressure, there's no precedent, right?
Yeah.
You kind of get to put your own stamp on it in the way that you and a director or writer see fit.
You know, I'm questioning now, Chad, because of the point that you brought up about liking the B characters, the lesser known characters a little bit more because the comics were cheap. Because Captain America was that was the comic I grew up with, in the Avengers and things like that. And I'm like, was my cousin just getting those because they were cheaper?
You might want to ask him.
I'm gonna have to ask him that, because I would steal his comic books. Like, you know, he'd get them, and then when he was done, I'd borrow them. But yeah, that was what I grew up with. And even, you know, if you remember when they announced that the first Iron Man movie, I was questioning, do enough people, like, I know Iron Man, do enough people know Iron Man to care about this?
Honestly, wasn't that amazing? Like the one that broke the mold was Iron Man. And I'm like, I read Iron Man in the 80s. Trust me, they never ran out of stock. Like I could always get an Iron Man comic. It wasn't that popular. Like, so the fact that Robert Downey Jr. came in there and crushed it and like launched 1,000 ships, like it's even more a testament to those geniuses at Marvel who got it so right with their cinematic universe. Because yeah, I mean, I don't think if you went back 20 years ago and be like, listen, we're going to change the world with comic book movies, and it's going to start with Iron Man, I think somebody would have got laughed out of the room.
Right.
That idea to them.
Right. I remember thinking, I'm not even going to get excited for what's ahead because this is probably not going to work.
Yeah. Oh man. It worked. It worked so well. And here we are. 20 movies later?
Right.
After the Avengers Infinity War. Oh my God.
I have to tell you, Jana and Katie are sitting on the other side of the screen chuckling because Katie hates Iron Man.
Wow.
Hates him.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay if we just
all have our favorites,
right?
He's the least favorite.
What's that?
He's my least favorite.
He's your least favorite. Well, you know what? Let's play our game with Chad, since we know he's into the Marvel universe. We play a game. Yes, right. Yes. Now, it's a little more PG-13 than the original because sometimes we do have kids who listen to our show. So it's Wed, Work With, and Wipe Out. The Marvel edition. So it's who would you marry? Who would be the best, member of the Marvel universe to be a coworker? And then if you got to wipe out somebody good. You can't just be like, I'm wiping out Thanos.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. Wed. I was a huge X-Men fan. So, oh gosh, which one do I go with? I've got 2 really great options. Storm and Jean Grey. Whoa.
Oh, both good options.
You should have them fight for the honor, right?
Fair.
Yes.
They just both look at each other and walk away. Like, why?
Yeah, you can have them.
Not a good proposal. But we'll go with Jean Grey, classic. You know, I had such a crush on Famke Janssen when she showed up in the old Bryan Singer X-Men movies. I was like, oh, so good. So we'll go Jean Grey on Wed. So the next one is what?
Work with.
Work with.
Yes.
In terms of a superhero in the Marvel universe, who would I want to work with? Punisher works alone. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, but it would be so great if you could be his sidekick, right?
That's very true. Wolverine's a little grumpy. He'd be less fun. So I would probably say Spider-Man, because I had all 4 of the Spider-Man titles. Spectacular, Web, Amazing. What was the 4th one? I loved them all, and they were fantastic. And the coolest thing about Spider-Man was, even when he was getting his butt kicked by Green Goblin or Dr. Octopus or whatever else, he's always making jokes. He's always quipping. He was always, you know, whether he was winning or losing, he always kind of had this sense of humor about it. And I just always loved that. It's just, I think that'd be a really fun teammate, because he'd keep me endlessly entertained.
Yes. All right. Who are you going to wipe out?
And you said it has to be a good guy?
Yeah. No villains.
Oh, who am I going to wipe out?
Otherwise, it's too easy.
My gosh. That is a really hard one. Who am I going to wipe out that is actually a good guy?
Katie has wiped out Iron Man, just so you know.
That's easy.
Well, since I'm going to, I guess, marry Jean Grey, I got to wipe out Cyclops. You know, I gotta go with Wolverine on this one, and you know, get rid of the love triangle.
Makes sense.
So,
yeah, take out the competition.
The funny thing is like my DNA, my makeup, like I'm kind of like a Cyclops in real life. Like he's dependable, he's smart, he's a leader, he will do the thing that you need. So I feel like I am more of that archetype. Just, you know, I'm more of a Leonardo than a cool guy like a Michelangelo and Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
So it kind of pains me to have to kill Cyclops, but Jean Grey. What am I?
No,
My hand is forced, buddy. Sorry.
I get you. All right, we're gonna wrap things up, unless Katie, you have any more gaming stuff, because really, like, this
I'm
is
good.
your moment. You're good.
I know this is a rarity, but I'm good.
So the next sniper movie, Assassin's End, even though it sounds like the end, might not be the end, but it is coming out in June, right?
Yeah, June 16th. In the US, it's digital Blu-ray DVD. And I also caught wind that they're doing like the Ultimate Sniper Collection. They've got all 8 movies that they're packaging up together. Yeah, it's exclusively available at Walmart for retail. So that's kind of cool for the diehard fans who want to take it from start to finish, which is really, really fun. I mean, I grew up on the original Sniper movie. I had that Tom Berenger, Billy Zane joint back in the day. Like, I remember that movie so fondly. So it's kind of cool. I'm gonna have to pick up that collection myself in that way. But yeah, Sniper Assassin's End. It's me and Tom Berenger back behind scope, and our female lead is a wonderful Japanese actress, pop star named Sayaka Akimoto. She's wonderful. It's called Assassin's End. You might guess who the assassin is. That lineup. Yeah. So yeah, it comes out June 16th. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chad. It was really great to talk with you. Stay safe.
Pleasure.
Stay healthy.
Katie, Donna, thank you so much.
Absolutely. The next project, let us know. We'd love to have you back.
Awesome. We'll talk.
Right.
We'll definitely talk more comic book nerdy love.
Anytime. All right. Bye, Chad.
Bye, everyone.